So in Java we have three kind of flavors actually: core Java, advanced Java, and J2EE. And anyway, we're going to understand what is Java, what is J2EE, and all. Anyway, in probably today's class, in the next class, introduction classes. Let's say as part of the core Java is concerned here, whatever you are seeing here, we have a clear topics and hours it is going to take. So introduction to Java, how many hours? Okay, language fundamentals and basics of programming section and operators, like that. All the topics of basics of core Java. So it is around 59 hours you have. Okay, we have a clear schedule and we are going to follow the schedule. So what we are going to cover in each day and how much hour it will take. So totally it is 59 hours for core Java. Probably 1 hour, 2 more hours maybe may extra, because like any advanced topic if we discussed after completion of Java kind of thing. So once you're done with core Java, then you will be good enough even to start looking for the opportunity, because there may be a lot many options open for only core Java. And especially I'm going to teach you in kind of Java certification level. Okay, I'm not going to teach you simply Java what is what, but I'm going to teach you as a certification level, and whatever the syllabus I'm showing here, it's part of certification syllabus. So that's what it's a good experience, like you will be learning Java certification course from the beginning. So, and if you are interested, even you can go ahead with the certification, because I'm going to show I'm going to help you even to write certifications and all, because like basically I'm some certified Java programmer. And so once you're done with like this 59 hours of core Java session, then you have JDBC, servlets. These are like advanced and J2EE. So including that 86 hours, 59, and if you can see 23 plus 4, around 28 hours. So that is for advanced and JTE. Once you have done with the core and advanced, you have module 2 open for you. So in module 2, you have something like extra and matches to real time. What are all the same topics? You may see few of the topics like Spring and JSP, Servlet, whatever is there. In that bit advanced, Strat, Spring, Hibernate, which are all matches to only real time. Okay, this is around like that. It was around 30 hour session. So that is what the total number of hours for the session. But mostly focusing on like you can start marketing yourself by once you're done with at least completion of core Java, which is 59 hours session. Okay, make sure that when you are learning Java, first of all, the heart of Java is core Java, nothing else. Advanced Java and J2E, all those things you can learn easily once you are done with core Java. And I don't say that core Java is also tough. At least if you have a programming knowledge of C and C++, at least some idea, then you feel bit easy. But even though if you don't have idea, as we are starting from ABCD, what is it? You never feel any difference here. Okay. Any doubts and questions regarding the syllabus what we are going to cover, Sirisha?
No, no, Ram.
Okay, okay. Sirisha, do you have any questions?
Hello.
Okay, okay. Sirisha, do you have any
Uh,
questions?
yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, you are telling about the hours, like it's 59 hours. So when you will take the classes, like is it on weekends or on the weekdays?
It's all like the schedule and everything will be planned, and probably Venkat will let you know when it is going to start and all. Probably like after usually after demo we'll be starting in a week or so, and every day per week we have 3 to 4 sessions. Okay, it depends. If you have a 3 session, then for every session we'll be taking 1.5 hour to 2 hour. So that probably for every week we'll be covering 5 to 6 hours in a week.
So daily we'll have a classes.
No, not daily. not daily.
Okay.
3 days in a week or 4 days in
3
a
days
week.
in a week. Oh, okay.
It
It's not a
depends.
weekend, it's weekdays.
Uh,
You're not
not
sure
sure
about that?
exactly
That's
how the
okay.
days will be set. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
probably you'll have 3 days or 4 days in a week, and you'll have time to refresh yourself when we are getting
Okay.
other days in a week. Like I'm going to give you some kind of work to practice, or so that is what we have planned. 3 days in a week rather than continuing 1 hour every day, so making you 6 days busy instead of that. So 3 days daily, 1.5 hour, 2 hours.
Okay. So you are going to give us some assignments so that we have to complete all those assessments too.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Assignment will not be there regularly, but you have time to practice and time to recollect yourself. First
Okay.
thing. And assignments
That's it.
also will be given. So means nothing but some kind of practice on the programs and to
Programs,
understand
yeah.
more. And I'm always helpful. Like if you're facing any issue, I can look into your machine remotely, and I can help you also. Not an issue.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. So any more questions, Sunita?
No, Ram, as of now.
Okay, that's fine. Mona, can you please select mic and speakers option? I can see you online.
Yeah, hold on, but I don't know where. Okay. Um, so you can view my name now, right?
Yeah, I can see your name. Probably you are connected through over the phone, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
but how I can do it? Okay, on the like voice. How I can look at the voice from here on the
You
web?
have joined in the meeting through laptop, correct?
Yeah.
So there you have an option in the audio. You have something called mic and speakers. You have to select.
Okay, okay, and then that's it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
There you can you can hear me from the laptop itself.
right. Okay.
Yeah, correct. Mona, are you able to hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think probably you can disconnect from mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mona, did you understood about introduction, like what we are going to cover in the syllabus?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I got an idea.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Like Mona, I didn't hear about yourself. Can you please go ahead about yourself so that I can have some idea?
Yeah, I am working as a QA analyst for like almost 5 years. I'm in QA and I don't know Java because I don't know any programming. So this will be first time I will be learning programming.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Okay, so today maybe next 30 minutes I'll be focusing on the background of Java and history kind of thing, so that like you can have some idea on the Java. Okay, let's say why Java became popular first of all, and what are the evaluation of programming languages. And there are so many languages which came into the market, something called C and C++, and before C and C++, you have before C and C++, you have lot many other programming languages. So why only Java became popular? That is one thing you need to understand now. And what is the specialty of Java and how long it will be there in the industry? This is one thing you need to understand very fast. So basically, in 1960, in 1960s, there is no good programming language. Nowadays, like you are using programming language to develop any kind of application, but in 1960s, there is like before 1960s also, if you can take, there are some languages which are bit popular, which are having specific purpose, something like, if you consider about a language, might be Fortran is a language which is used for scientific application development. Scientific application development. Okay, so what exactly scientific application development? If you need a kind of applications need to be developed related to radar systems or some kind of systems which are related to completely scientific. So it is very easy to develop such kind of applications using Fortran, because Fortran having tools related to that. And if you'd like to develop business related application, something like mainframes, COBOL, business related application. But there is no language which is having all the features to develop different kind of applications in a single platform. Okay, that is what the ideology to invent a new language in olden days. But anyway, in 1960s, a committee has been formed, like international committee. So it's a group of IT people, and came up with a language called ALGOL 60. ALGOL 60 is a new language. The idea of invention of a new language, ALGOL 60, is to develop a new language which is having all the features in it. But might be ALGOL 60 is having all features, but the language became too big and too difficult. What is too big and too difficult? The language became big. Big is nothing but it has lot many features. So it is very difficult. Difficult is nothing but implementation of the logic in the programming is difficult. Let's say, what is the logic actually? Solving the problem is logic. Okay, implementation of that logic is difficult, which is a biggest problem in the programming language. Let's say I need to find out multiplication of 3 into 20. If I need that, I can use 3 into 20, which will give us result 60. Imagine, like, if multiplication is not there in the language, star is not there in the language, how do you perform multiplication? Still you can perform multiplication by adding 320 times, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So both will give you same result. Both are different logic. So the best logic and easiest logic is the first one. So let's say, imagine like in ALGOL 60, first logic is not there. So do you feel like ALGOL 60 is easy? No. That is what, these are different kind of problems which were faced in ALGOL 60 after invention. But anyway, language is as part of the ideology is concerned, language is having many features. But finally, final output of the language, and the language doesn't become popular here because of these too big and too abstract, too difficult. 1962, Cambridge University. CPL. CPL is nothing but combined programming language, new language, again for same purpose. So, but the language became too general, too abstract. It is also failed because of similar kind of reasons related to ALGOL 60. In 1965, again Cambridge University developed a new language, is called BCPL, Basic Combined Programming Language. So as the previous languages like ALGOL 60 and CPL, so these languages, the ideology of invention is to develop with all features, but the languages are becoming abstract, general, big. It's going for big. So in this part, it became, so they have reduced the features and all, but it became too less and too specific. So when a language becomes popular, it should not be, it should not less, it should be simple, okay, and it should have all the features and easy to develop, okay, less number of repetition in the code, no redundancy, so reusing kind of thing, So all those things, all those features are not there in BCPL also. Okay, again to solve this lessness, again in 1970, Ken Thompson, he is the person who invented a new language called B, but the same problem like two less and two specific kind of thing has repeated in the case of B also. You might be hard about the person Ken Thompson. He is also the inventor of Unix operating system. I think it is one of the popular operating system, and it is having still emerging market for Unix programmers or Unix developers, whoever it may be. Okay, Unix is most secured operating system in the world, like Windows and Mac and all those flavors of Unix actually. Okay, so that is what Unix operating system. And in 1972, so in between 1960 to 1960, there are so many languages came into the market to resolve the problems, but only few languages became popular, something like ALGOL 60, CPL, BCPL, and B. But still, the language is having some issues, so that it won't. The languages came up does not came up into the market. But in 1972, AT&T Bell Labs, okay, developed a new language called C. And think about C. C has fulfilled all the features required and what we are looking, and it is known as general purpose programming language. General purpose programming language. It is not specific to any kind of application development, something like scientific or business or low level or anything. So you can develop any kind of application using C language. That's why C became popular, and still C is having market. The programmers, C++ programmers are very less available in the market, but having good pace for these people because it is still there. So basically C++ used for low level application development mostly nowadays, because we have so many other languages available in the market to develop high-end application. So in C you can develop two kind of application, that is number one, high level application and low level application. What is high level? What is low level? High level applications are the applications where you will have good programming efficiency. Supports for good machine efficiency. Low level language supports for good machine efficiency. High level languages are used for good programming efficiency, which is nothing but, let's say, where low level application will come into the picture, and high level applications are nothing but something like you went for a restaurant and you ordered something and finally he gave a bill, okay, which is like inside he might be running some application to calculate and all. So that is what high level application. Okay, and low level applications are applications related to machine. Let's say you brought some hardware device and you are connected to your laptop, something like external hard disk, something like any webcam or a different kind of hardware. You brought it and you connected to your PC. Then you need to wait for some time, because it will take time to load the drivers which required to work with that particular hardware. Okay, so it is looking for some kind of softwares to work it, which is called as driver. Okay, so we need some kind of language to develop such kind of drivers too. Okay, that is what C++ use it for, the device driver kind of development. That is why C and C++ are having still market comparatively other languages. So where C++ used more, and as C supports for both kind of application development, C is known as okay. So C is used for general purpose. You can develop any kind of application. There is no specific domain where you can use C, and it is known as middle level language, so that you can develop high level application, low level application. And the programming approach C followed is procedural and structure oriented. Procedural and structure oriented. So procedural is nothing but you will be writing some kind of function where whenever you require such kind of task, so whatever the function is doing, you will be invoking that function many times whenever you require. So this is a kind of different approach be using. Okay, once you try to understand about the other concepts, something like which I am going to explain in object orientation, then you'll get difference between what is procedural and what is object oriented. Okay, don't dig into more about what is procedural, what is structure orientation, but I just want to highlight the approach what C is following is procedural and structure oriented. Okay, that's fine. Next, now C is a very good programming language which became popular and using in 1970s. That's fine. It has resolved all the features which we were faced in before 1960s. When C is a very good programming language, why C++ came into market again? What is the necessity of C++? Okay, it is just because of the approach C is following. It's not because of the C programming language is bad or C does not have features or kind of thing. So C++ came into the picture, and even other languages like Java also came into the picture. It's just because of the approach the C programming was followed. So the initial ideology of invention of C program is to develop a language with features and having good programming techniques. That has been fulfilled by C. So to do that, they followed procedural approach because there is no other approach which became popular. That is only the approach which became popular in 1970s. But after that, a new approach came into the market which became popular called object-oriented approach. Object-oriented approach is having many features than procedural-oriented approach. Something like it has reusing of the code mechanism, which reduce lot of redundancy in the real time. Okay, and something like multi-functionality. Okay, and there are so many features of object orientation approach, something like encapsulation. Anyway, we are going to see all these features. So there are so many features of object-oriented programming approach, and even I'm saying that it is very good to have object orientation rather than procedural and structure orientation. But unfortunately, C does not have this feature. Okay, that's why, and we know that C is a very good programming language. Then even that time, people started thinking about a new language which looks like C. Supports for different programming approach too. Okay, that is the ideology. In 1980s, a new language has been introduced called C with classes in 1980s by Stroop. Okay, however it may be in 1985, the name has been changed to C++ by ANSI. So it's a standard institute, American National Standard Institute for Programming Languages. So they have regularized the name C with classes to C++. Okay. So however it may be, in 1985, final version of C++ and supporting for good programming approach. That's fine. Then why Java? Now we came to actual topic now. Why Java came into the market? What is the necessity of invention of Java. That's what we're going to see. C++ supports for object-oriented programming language. C++ also supports for procedural orientation. Okay, but C++ itself is not object-oriented programming language. That is only the first important thing you need to understand. But Java is itself object-oriented programming, and I can say Java is pure object-oriented programming language. The ideology of invention of Java programming is not because of pure object orientation. Okay, mind it, as Java has been developed in 1995, that time object orientation became too popular. So as Java is introducing, they thought of inventing Java in pure object oriented. Okay, Java is itself object oriented. Okay, that's why. But the ideology of invention of Java is not actually for pure object orientation. Okay, what is the ideology behind the invention of Java? Okay, let's say in 1990s, between 1985 and 1995, there are a lot many changes came into IT industry. Something like, so a new thing came into the market and people habituated of using it called internet. So it's very big, it's became too popular. Most of the people habituated of using it, but there is no language which supports for internet programming. When to develop web-based applications, a language required, but C and C++ doesn't support for internet programming because internet programming is a new technology. But C++ was not there at that time. So that is one of the thing. And Java has been introduced by Sun Microsystems. Sun Microsystems basically into development of softwares for micro devices. Okay, and micro and some electronic devices also. So basically Sun Microsystems will be manufacturing some electronic devices and some micro devices where that electronic device requires some kind of programming to work with, something like even some kind of robo, small robo, such kind of thing also they'll manufacture, but that needs some kind of programming. So they need some kind of their own programming which is having relevant to electronic and micro devices. So initially they developed a new language called awk for their electronic device and systems. But however it may be, 1995, so they came up with a language called Java. Java has the standards of awk and pure object orientation, and there are some other implementations of James Gosling team. Sorry. So he led the team, James Gosling, he led the team for developing of Java. Okay, so that's why he's the main author of Java. So initially it's for electronic devices, but later when Java has came up, it came up with even for using Java you can develop micro, electronic device application development, web application development, standalone application development, all the things. Java came for developing any kind of application, internet application. Okay, so but why the name of the language is Java? You know, Java is the name of island actually. Why the same name has been there for programming languages? Because of when the James Gosling team went for a resort for an island Java, so then James Gosling got an idea of implementing awk with the pure object orientation and internet programming support. That's what the name has been changed from Awk to Java. Okay, that is why that is what exactly the background of Java, how history, why it came, what is the necessity. Okay, so who invented, when invented. Okay, using Java, what type of applications you can develop. Using Java, you can develop, let's say, basic things. Standalone application development, and we can say mobile application development, mobile or electronics any kind. These are the major things I am focusing on. Okay, so standalone application development. What exactly standalone application development? Standalone application, nothing but you will develop one application. To work with that application from any client side, you will be installing that application in the client machine, so that that application will work for only that client. This is known as standalone application. Mostly you'll be seeing these applications on the building side kind of thing. Okay, so really standalone application does not require any internet to work with. Okay, it's a standard building system, which can work from one laptop or one machine. Okay, kind of thing. Such application have craze before web applications earlier, but nowadays mostly even for restaurants or hotel bookings or any kind of thing, you are seeing a web application development. What you see, just you'll go to Google and you'll search for something, and you'll open the website of that, and you'll try to register over there, and you'll try to book over there. That is such kind of applications are known as web application development. Okay, also can develop in Java. And other thing is mobile application development. Mobile application development is have lots of craze in the market, and every day there are lot many new mobiles are coming along with new features, and there are so many applications and so many features in it. Let's say, like, even if you take Apple iPhone, in that you will be integrating lot many applications, but the backbone of all applications is Java. Whether physically you might not be seeing the Java, but virtually Java will be there to run the application. Without Java, nothing. There's no mobile application development. And most of the electronic devices, something like washing machines and dryers, which are programmed in for some timing or kind of thing. So the backbone of that programming also Java will be embedded in a chip inside, so that it will be able to work. So this is kind of web application development. Okay, so to develop these three kind of applications, Java has three additions. Okay, so number one, okay, so J2SE, which means that Java 2 standard edition. So J2SE, which means Java 2 standard edition. Okay, it's a basic standard, which will say it is a core Java and advanced Java, which are parts of standard edition, so that you can develop all standalone application once you are done with all parts of J2SE. So which includes core and advanced. And J2EE is for enterprise edition, which is for web application and enterprise application development. Say enterprise application development. And J2ME is for micro edition, which is for mobiles, electronics, etc. Okay, so we are going to start with core, actually, like means nothing but J2SE standard edition. Once you are done with core and advanced, then we'll move on to J2SE. But there are different kind of technologies are there in J2EE. For example, if you think about web application development in Java, there are so many frameworks available. Okay, but anyway, we are going to focus on more of the frameworks which are there in J2EE. Something like, if you can see here, so we are focusing Servlets, JSP, Stats, Spring, Hibernate. Most of the technologies we are going to focus here. Okay, so that is what I just want to cover in introduction, because to get some knowledge on what is Java and background and what type of application development. And really in the next class, like I'm going to focus on this thing. So we just seen evaluation of programming languages. So and some history of Java. Like we need to go ahead with the features of Java and concepts of OOPs. And I just cover editions also here anyway. It's good. Okay, we'll see in depth probably in the next class. So about the next class, like Venkat will let you know like when to start and all. But I just need some feedback on the class, like whether you were able to understand or anything. But before that, do you have any questions? Like Mona, you have any questions? Okay.
I'm muted.
Mona, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Any questions, Mona? Are you good?